Sean here with Sugar Shack 7. Welcome back to our channel. Thank you for stopping by. Today we're going to talk about 10 most famous heists. You know, there's many different ways to get rich in life. You can get rich in life by working hard all your life. You can gamble like the lottery or being born into wealth. But you know, there's another way you can get rich, and that is to steal it. I'm not saying that that's right, and I myself would not choose that path, but there are some famous people that have pulled off some really amazing heists. So we're going to talk about those people today. Yeah, some of them never did get caught, but a lot of them did get caught, but they were insanely wealthy for a little bit of time. Number one, the Great Train Robbery. Many people are aware of this Great Train Robbery, but it did occur in 1963. This Great Train Robbery occurred around Buckinghamshire, England. There were 15 robbers, and one of the famous men was Ronnie Biggs. What is crazy about this robbery, it was so simple. All they did was tamper with the signals on the train tracks. They detoured the train in a different direction, and then once the train came to a stop, the 15 men loaded onto the train and demanded the money from the actual guards of the train. What is insane is they got away with 2.6 million British pounds, which today equates to around 46 million British pounds. That is an insane amount of money once you think about it, just for a simple robbery on a train. Of course, later they were caught, and several of the men did receive 30-year sentences, and one did die in prison. But they are assured of their place in the history books as one of the most famous robberies ever. Number two, the Lufthansa raid. I myself have flown on the Lufthansa airline. Absolutely amazing airline. Many of our heists have inspired movies. The biggest movie of all is The Goodfellas, which took part in the inspiration of the 1978 Lufthansa raid. The target was a vault at the JFK airport, which stored the American currency for American servicemen in West Germany. The heist was planned by Jimmy Burke. He was an associate of a crime family. They carried out this crime to almost a perfect T. They walked away with $6 million, 3 times more than Burke was actually expecting. But like many other crimes, the heist was uncovered because of a dumb mistake on Parnell Stacks Edwards. He was an associate of Burke's, and the FBI knew this. What Edwards was supposed to actually do was actually dispose of the van, but instead of disposing properly, he parked it in no parking zone. And guess what? His fingerprints was all over it. And since Edwards was connected to Burke, this caused the FBI to start zeroing on Burke himself. Like many other crimes, there's a lot of people involved in those crimes, and there's a lot of people that actually know about the crimes that can actually talk to the authorities. So Edwards himself did end up dead right away because they wanted to silence him, and then eventually many others that knew about the crime that could actually talk to the authorities started being eliminated as well, due to the fact that there was really actually nobody to prove that Burke actually was a part of it. He was never really convicted of this crime, but justice did catch up with him. He eventually was convicted with the murder of Richard Eaton in 1985 and died of lung cancer in 1996. The $6 million was never recovered. Number three, the Antwerp diamond heist. This one took place in 2003. It was led by Leonardo Notarbartolo, and they stole over $100 million worth of diamonds and making it at the time the world's largest diamond heist. Leonardo was a very meticulous man, and he was very patient as well. He took 2.5 years to plan this crime. What he did is he rented an office in the Diamond Center itself, and he gained credibility with the center and had a 24-hour access card to the building. But again, like many other crimes, there is a stupid mistake that takes place. What he did was left a half-eaten sandwich at the crime scene, and then obviously they did DNA testing on the sandwich, and he was jailed for 10 years, but released on parole, and has since claimed that someone else paid him to do the robbery. But what my question is who in their right mind even eats while they're committing a robbery? Number four, the Great Brinks Robbery. Yes, we may be calling these the crime of the century or the most famous heist, but that doesn't mean that they got away with the crime. In this case, the FBI did catch up with the masterminds. This robbery took place on January 17th of 1950 at the Brinks building. These robbers actually took 2 years to practice their crime, and then they took the longest time to develop the optimum moment to actually commit the crime. What I find is interesting of the specifics of the crime itself, it took place at 6:55 p.m. exactly when the robbers walked in with their copied keys. They tied up the staff and left with $1,218,211.29 in cash, and they took $1,557,183.83 in checks. It took 6 years for the FBI to pin them down. They were all tried and convicted except those that had died in the interim, and 8 of them received life sentences. Number 5, the Securitas depot robbery. This is the biggest cash robbery in the British history. It is approximately $87 million that they got away with. This crime took place in February of 2006. What they did is they actually kidnapped the manager of the depot by using a police car as a decoy, and they took him to a hiding place where his family was already kidnapped as well. They then proceeded to the depot with the manager and his family, where the robbers took the cash and left them and 14 members of the staff tied up. Eventually, 5 of the men was caught and tried and convicted of this crime. There is one man that is still at large to this day and presumably has all the money, and his name is Kane Patterson. Number 6, the Damiani Showroom robbery. This 2008 robbery has many things in common with other thefts on the list. The use of a tunnel to break in this case, it was a Milan jewelry showroom. The robbers wearing fake police uniforms, and the fatal flaw in this case was that some of the most valuable pieces weren't in the Damiani showroom at the time. They were adorning A-listers in Hollywood because of Oscar night. The thieves had picked Oscar night to strike, knowing that the showroom owner would be attending the ceremony in LA, but seemingly not realizing that most expensive pieces would be going as well. Still, the thieves got away with up to $30 million worth of jewelry, so they probably weren't too upset, at least not until they were arrested the following December. Number 8, Stardust Casino heist. It is widely acknowledged that robbing a Vegas casino is among the toughest of heists to pull off, but several people have tried and some have succeeded. The most successful was Bill Brennan, a man that nobody really knows anything about other than this heist. He worked in the Stardust Casino at Midway through a shift in September of 1992. He went to lunch. That's not remarkable. What is remarkable is that he never came back and has never been seen since. Oh, and there's also a small matter of $500,000 in chips and cash that he stashed in his rucksack. It's the biggest casino theft ever and almost glorious in its simplicity. Some say he was in cahoots with the security guard who later killed him, explaining both his disappearance and the ease with which he walked away with the money. Again, it may never be explained. Number 9, the Graff Diamonds robbery. Now, this is an example of how most elaborate plans can go wrong. The men who robbed the Graff Diamonds jewelry store in August of 2009 had taken a lot of care to escape detection. They engaged the services of a professional makeup studio and had prosthetic faces attached, telling the makeup artist that it was for a music video. Then they simply walked into a store, brandished their guns, and escaped with 43 pieces of jewelry worth around an estimation of $65 million. Then they took care to keep changing getaway vehicles to shake the police off their trail, but one of them left his mobile phone in the car, which allowed the police to track, arrest, and jail them. The gang leader, Aman, is currently serving 23 years, with the other 3 robbers serving 16 years each. None of the jewelry has ever been recovered so far. Number 10, Isabella Gardner Museum Heist. One of the biggest art thefts ever and one of the most famous unsolved crimes. The scene was Isabella Gardner Museum in Boston, and the date was March 18th of 1990. Two apparent policemen walked in during the night while St. Patrick's Day celebrations were in full swing outside and tricked the security guards into leaving their posts. The thieves then tied the guards up and made off with several major art pieces, including Rembrandt's Storm of the Sea of Galilee and his self-portrait. The works have never been recovered, and the museum is still offering a reward of $5 million for information that would lead to their return. It is estimated that they are worth $500 million, but of course, you can't really put a price on art. There are a few puzzling things about this case, such as why did the thieves pass by some other valuable artwork and didn't take them? But maybe it will be solved one day. There we have it, 10 most famous heists. Some of them got away with it and some didn't. And I always say crime doesn't pay and crime doesn't pay. Before you go, we ask you to give us a big old thumbs up on this video, and you have